Mr. Clooney,
Hi,
good morning. Pleasure to meet you.
nice to meet you.
So I'm Fafa. I'm going to be your physical therapist today. Have you been to physical therapy before?
I am not.
No? Okay. So let me kind of give you a breakdown of how this is going to go. So for about the first 15 minutes, I'm going to just be asking you some questions about who you are and what kind of things that you do and everything, just to get an idea about you. And then for about the remaining 45 minutes, we'll do the physical exam portion where I'll just be kind of moving you around and getting a further idea of what's going on with you. Do you have any questions before we begin?
Don't think so.
Awesome. Okay, let's get started then. Thank you for your time. So, just to verify, can I get your age and your date of birth?
Sure. I'm 56, and my birthday is September 5th.
Awesome. My birthday's September 18th. Oh,
Nice.
so close. Okay, what do you do for work, Mr. Fleming?
I work at like a cybersecurity place. So I pretty much sit at a desk all day.
Mm-hmm. And how many hours a day would you say you work?
Probably about 6 to 9, depending on the day.
And you said you're sitting at a desk for all those hours?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like your job is kind of affected by the condition you're coming in for?
Definitely. It hurts to sit for that long.
Okay, Mr. Clooney. What's your living situation like? Do you live in an apartment or a house?
Just a house.
Are there any stairs in this home?
Yes.
Alrighty. And are you currently using a cane or crutches or any other device to help you get around?
No.
Alrighty, Mr. Clooney. Do you engage in any exercise or hobbies outside of work?
I don't exercise that much, but I've started a new diet recently, so I've been trying to lose a little weight. But my grandson is really into those like remote control airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the park with him. We fly those a lot.
Okay.
My wife kicks me out of the house, so about twice a week I play pool with my buddies.
Mm. I've always wanted to try to play pool, but it seems so difficult.
You just gotta practice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you said you play pool about twice a week, and you also fly the airplanes about twice a week?
The airplanes kind of varies.
Okay. And do you feel like your condition is affecting any of these hobbies?
Yeah, it's hard for me to look up and like see the airplanes. Having trouble with that. And also when I'm trying to get like a good shot in pool, if I have to like look up, depending on the angle, it hurts my neck.
Okay. And outside of those, do you engage in any activities in the community at all?
Here and there, nothing very regularly.
Okay. So let's talk about what brought you in today. I understand you're having some pain. Would you mind showing me where that pain is located?
Sure. So I'm having some pain like in my kind of neck, upper back,
Okay.
on the right side mostly. And then sometimes I even get some pain like in between my shoulder blades.
Okay. Is that also more on the right side or in the middle?
It's on both sides.
Both sides? Okay. Do you have any pain in your upper neck at all?
No, not really.
Okay. Do you have any pain in your arms or your face?
No.
No. Anything in your abdomen area? No. Anything in your legs or hips?
No.
No? Okay. Anything in your shoulders? Alrighty. Do you feel any numbness or tingling in your body?
No.
So I kind of drew this body chart. Does this look similar to where your pain is?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and how would you describe that neck and pain between your shoulder blades?
So the neck pain is pretty constant, but it's like a dull ache. And then the in between my shoulder blades, it kind of comes and goes, but it just kind of feels like sore.
Mm. Okay. And so on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no pain at all, 10 being the worst pain you've ever felt, how would you rate your neck pain?
Right now it's probably like a 2.
Okay. And at its best, how would you rate it?
Probably 2.
2, okay. And when it's at its worst, how would you rate it?
Like a 6.
6, okay. What about that pain between your shoulder blades? How would you rate it right now?
Just like a 1.
And
Too bad.
when it's at its best, how would you rate it?
A 1.
1. What about when it's at its worst?
Like a 4.
Okay, and have you been feeling any dizziness lately?
No.
Or what about, have you felt any, or had any fainting spells recently?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Do you feel like this neck pain and pain in in between your shoulders, do you feel like they're connected at all? Or does one come on as another one
Yeah.
worsens?
My neck pain always comes first. But then, like when my neck pain gets worse, that's what increases my other pain,
Okay.
the soreness.
Okay, Mr. Fruity. What are some activities that make your pain feel worse?
Yeah, so like I said before, like looking up hurts. Then just sitting at my desk working for like about 2 hours, I'll start to feel it.
Is there anything else that makes your pain worse?
Just again, like when I'm shooting pool, if I have to like look up, that hurts.
Okay. And when looking up, is it immediately as soon as you look up once that the pain comes on, or is it after looking up a few times?
It's kind of after looking up for a few minutes.
Okay. Would you say like 5 minutes or 1 minute?
Probably like, yeah, like 5.
What about when sitting at your desk? How long into sitting before your pain starts to come on?
So I can sit for about 2 hours, and then my neck will start to hurt. But then give it another about 2 hours, and that's when that shoulder blade soreness comes on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And what are some things you do to make your pain feel better?
I kind of like stretch and kind of bring my head side to side. that can make it feel better, or just kind of having some downtime.
Yeah, downtime's always good.
And that's for my neck pain.
Neck pain, okay. And then what about that pain between your shoulders? What do you do to help that?
Usually like laying down helps.
Anything else you do to make it feel better?
Not really.
Okay. How long into that side stretching before your pain starts to feel better?
For like 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Okay. So you hold that position for 4 minutes and then start to feel better.
Or I'll just kind of hold for about 30 seconds or so and go back and forth, and then like within the next 4 or 5 minutes it will feel better.
Oh, gotcha.
Depends how bad it's hurting at the moment.
Makes sense. What about downtime? Is downtime but basically like the same as laying down and just chilling?
Yeah, pretty much the same as like stretching, just kind of chilling for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Awesome. How would you say your neck and shoulder pain feel in the morning?
My neck pain is definitely worse in the morning.
What about that pain between your shoulders?
It's hard to say because it kind of comes and goes. So, kind of depends how my neck's feeling.
Okay. What about throughout the day? How does your pain feel?
Definitely gets worse at work.
And what about at night? After the day's done, how does your neck and shoulder pain feel?
Probably, it kind of feels like stiff. And a little bit sore, but it's not as bad as earlier in the day.
And what about at night? Do you experience any pain while you're trying to sleep?
No.
No. Alrighty. Thank you so much for filling out that intake form. I just want to ask you a couple questions just based on some things that you circled.
Sure.
So I see here that you circled yes for often feeling bothered or down and depressed. Is that from how recent have you been feeling this way?
It just kind of comes and goes over the past like 10 years or so, but
Is there any thing that brought it on?
sometimes it's like my wife has some health problems, so when she's like sick, sometimes it's kind of hard. But I'm doing okay right now.
That's good. I'm very sorry to hear that. Is your doctor aware that you've been feeling this way?
Yes.
And do you feel like it's being managed well?
Yes.
Alrighty. I see here that you have about 5 drinks per week. Is that usually all at once, or is that spread out throughout the week?
It's normally spread out, like when I'm playing pool with the guys. I normally grab a beer or two.
Okay. And I see here that you have high blood pressure. How are you and your doctor managing that?
I take medicine for it. Yeah.
And do you feel like it's working well for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty under control lately.
Awesome. Before we get started with the physical exam, if it's okay, I'll just go ahead and take your blood pressure just to make sure everything's fine, if that's okay. Sure. Alrighty. I see that you have a family history of cancer and heart disease. Are you and your doctor managing that as well?
Yeah, my doctor knows. I'm in the clear for now.
Awesome. That's good to hear. I also see that you circled yes to trauma. Would you mind telling me a little bit about what happened?
Sure. Just probably about 4 years ago. I was out hunting with the buddies and climbed up in a tree like I was 18 still. Dumb. And I ended up falling and fractured my collarbone, but it's all healed now.
It's good to hear that it's all healed. Does it still give you any pain at all?
Not really.
That's good to hear. Okay. And just to clarify on some of the things that you put, do you experience any pain while coughing or sneezing?
No.
Okay. Have you had any issues or changes you've noticed with going to the restroom? No. Okay. Have you had any weight changes? Have you noticed any huge weight gains or losses recently?
I mean, I've been starting a new diet, so I've lost a little bit of weight, but
Okay.
nothing like super drastic.
That's good to hear. Awesome. So have you had any x-rays or MRIs or other imaging done recently?
Yeah.
And I see here that you're taking Lasix. What are you taking that for?
That's for my high blood pressure.
How often do you take it?
Once a day.
Today? You feel like it's working well for you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there any other medication you're taking that you didn't list here?
No.
No? Okay. And I see here that you learn best by seeing and doing, so I'll make sure that all of the treatments and exercises I give you here, I'll demonstrate them for you first, and then I'll have you do them just to make sure that you know how to do them well. And I'll also send you home with a handout with pictures so that you'll be able to see what you need to do at home as well.
Okay.
And is there anything that would hinder or get in the way of you coming to therapy?
I mean, I'm pretty busy, but I'm going to try to make it work.
Okay.
I don't have that much free time.
I understand. And if at any point you really need to, you really don't have any time, we'll try and do as much as we can here, and then whatever we're not able to do, I'll send you home with those in the handout that I give you. Okay, Mr. Flooney, go ahead and tell me how this neck and shoulder pain came about.
Sure. So, my neck pain just kind of has gradually gotten worse over probably about 4 months or so. And it's just been harder to like look up and stuff when I'm with my grandson or when I'm shooting pool. But nothing really like big happened. And then let's see, pain between my shoulder blades probably came on about 2 months ago, and it just kind of happened. Nothing really gradually came on. Nothing really happened to me.
Okay. And you said that you feel like they're both worsening?
Yeah, I mean they're definitely not getting better.
Gotcha. And have you had any pain in your neck or between your shoulder blades like this before?
No.
Okay. And what goals would you say that you have for physical therapy?
Definitely just want to get my neck moving normally again. Want to be able to fly airplanes with my grandson. Really need to get back to pool. I'm competitive, so I don't like when my friend Jerry beats me, so I really need to get back on it.
Yeah. Definitely, I can understand how pain like this can get in the way of all the things that you love to do, but I can assure you that I'm going to do everything in my power to get you back to playing pool and playing with your grandson and all those other things you love as quickly as I can.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. And what do you think that I can do to help you have a great experience here?
I think just kind of helping me figure out what I need to do, like when the pain starts to come on, to see if I can maybe try to stop it on my own.
Will do. And did you fill out a form called the NDI while you were filling out those forms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here it is.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Kennedy, before we move on to the physical exam portion?
Not right now.
Okay. Awesome. So now we're going to do the physical exam. Part of this exam is going to require me to place my hands on you. Is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So first what I'm going to do is check your blood pressure. So go ahead and stay there and I'll get my tools real quick. How old's your grandson?
He's 8.
Oh, that's the fun age before they enter their teen years and start giving you attitude, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a preference of which arm I do it on?
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this arm here then. Okay. Okay. Set it here, and you can just go ahead and relax that arm. Here. Awesome. So everything looks pretty normal. How are you feeling right now? Good. Good. Awesome. How would you rate your pain right now?
I feel like a 2.
2? Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do first is go ahead and stand up and please remove your shirt if you don't mind. Okay, now you can just go ahead and stand and just look straight ahead. Okay. Okay, Mr. Flooney. So now what I want you to do is just go ahead and walk from here to the end of the room right there and then come right back. Okay. 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 So now I'm just going to be checking your balance. So what I want you to do here is I want you to place your right foot in front of your left foot like this, and then just hold just like that, and look ahead. Okay. Okay, now go ahead and place your left foot in front. Do the same thing. Good. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, while placing one foot in front of the other like this, I want you to walk from here to this chair and then walk back the same way. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I know earlier you mentioned that looking up brings on some of that pain. Would you mind looking up for me like that? How does that feel?
It hurts.
Hurts. Okay. And how would you rate that?
Probably like a 3 right now.
3. Okay. Okay. You also mentioned that sitting at work kind of brings on that neck and pain between your shoulder blades. Would you mind showing me how you sit at work?
Sure. I have a laptop on my desk, but yeah, probably something like this.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So now go ahead and sit, come back and sit on this table for me, please. Now I'm just going to check to see how the joints are moving in your neck. So what I want you to do first is go ahead and bend your head down like this, and then bring it back up. How does that feel?
Just fine.
Any pain with that? No. Okay, so now I want you to bend in the opposite way. So bend your head back like that, and then bring it back.
Start to get some pain there.
Okay, so it's painful? Okay. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna take a measurement of how far that was. So I want you to go ahead and bend back again as far as you can. Alrighty. Okay, so now what I want you to do is bend your head to the left side like this.
Okay.
How does that feel?
It's fine, no pain.
Okay. Okay. Now I want you to bend your head to the right side like this. How does that feel?
Fine.
Any pain?
No.
No? Okay. So now what I want you to do is rotate your head kind of like you're looking at your blind spot like this over your left shoulder. Any pain with that?
Yeah, it starts to feel kind of like stiff.
Stiff? Okay. Alright, now I want you to do the same thing over your right shoulder. How does that feel?
Feels stiff again.
Stiff? Okay. Any pain with either of those?
Just kind of like uncomfortable stiffness.
Uncomfortable? Okay, gotcha. Okay, now I'm going to be taking a measurement of that. So I want you to go ahead and look over your left shoulder again. All right, now go ahead and look over your right shoulder. Okay. Okay, so now I want you to go ahead and lay down on your back for me, and you're having your head facing here. And you can go ahead and relax, and I'm just going to be moving your head around. And let me know if you let me know if you feel, I know, we got to put some oil on that thing. Let me know if you feel pain with any of the motions I'm about to do, okay? Okay, go ahead and scoot toward me a little bit. Awesome. Again, let me know if you feel anything with these. Okay, go ahead and relax. Any pain with that? Any pain with that?
No.
Any pain with that?
No.
Oh, is that causing pain?
Yeah, that's stiffness again.
Gotcha. Any pain with that side?
Yeah, that's stiffness.
Stiffness? Okay, so now I'm gonna lower this table a little bit. Just go, you go ahead and relax. And go ahead and scoot a little bit away from me, like down, further down toward the table. Good. Awesome. And I'm gonna lower this part so that I can bend your head back. Now, okay,
Yeah, that hurts.
is that painful?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to be checking to see how the joints in your upper neck are doing, to see if at all that is causing some of that pain in your lower neck and between your shoulder blades, okay? Okay, go ahead and scoot a little back towards me again. Okay, let me know if you feel any pain with any of these motions. Any pain with that? Any pain with that? Any pain with that?
No.
Any pain with that?
No.
Awesome. And how would you rate your pain right now, Mr. Fellini?
Probably about 3 still.
3, okay. Alrighty. Now go ahead and flip over onto your stomach for me. So now I'm just going to be feeling around those structures in your neck and the area that you said was bothering you. Let me know if any of the spots feel kind of tender or painful, okay?
Okay.
Would you like me to take that this out or?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a little painful as you get further down.
Painful down here.
A little bit higher.
Here.
Yeah. Painful. That one.
On here.
Mhm.
Here as well. Okay. Now I'm just going to be testing the strength of some of your muscles in your neck. So the first thing I want you to do is go ahead and lift up. You're going to stay in this position, but I want you to go ahead and lift up your head. And I want you to hold this position. I'm going to apply some pressure, okay? Hold, hold, hold. Any pain with that?
Not really. It's a little uncomfortable.
Okay, so now go ahead and flip back onto your back for me. Awesome. Okay, so now I want you to kind of tuck your chin in and lift your head up off the table. Like this? Yes. So go ahead and hold this position, and I'm going to try to push you out of it, okay? Hold, hold. Any pain with that?
A little bit.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to hold it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, now go ahead and turn your head to the right side. Okay, and now lift your head up. Hold that position. Hold, hold, hold. Now go ahead and look over to your other side. Go ahead and lift your head up. Hold that position. Hold, hold, hold. Okay. Okay, so now I want you to tuck that chin in again, and I want you to lift up your head, and I want to see how long you can hold it for, okay? So you can go ahead and do that once I say go. Ready? Go. Okay, and now go ahead and sit up for me, Mr. Fleming. Okay, now, let me set it down a little bit. So now, I'm going to be holding your head like this. I want you, once I say go, I want you to try and rotate your head to the left, okay? While I hold your head like this, okay? Ready? Go. Hold, hold, hold. Okay. Now I want you to do the same thing, but to the other side once I say go, okay? Ready? Go. Good. Okay, how are you feeling right now, Miss Brody?
Okay. When you were like pressing on my neck, it hurt a little bit, but like it felt good. It was like a good hurt.
Okay. How would you rate your pain right now?
Probably like a 3.
3. Okay. So let's kind of sit down and talk for a second. Okay, so what seems to be going on here is a condition that's usually common for people who have to sit at a desk for long periods of time. So a lot of times whenever we're sitting, it's easy for us to become hunched over because we're just diligently trying to get our work done. We're not worried about our posture, but sometimes whenever we don't have that good posture, it causes some of the muscles in our back to become strained because they've been in that position for so long, and then other muscles have to kind of compensate, and they're also weak as well. It's a syndrome known as upper cross syndrome, and it's usually due to that posture that a lot of people have while sitting. So I believe that once we're able to stretch those muscles that are tight and strengthen those muscles that are weak, we should be able to get you back to all the things that you love doing without that pain that you have. So, yeah, do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so. That sounds good.
Okay, awesome. So I want to see you about 2 times a week for 6 weeks. I think that would be enough time to get this taken care of. And so the first thing we're going to do is just kind of work on your posture first. So what I want you to do is go ahead and sit down in this chair for me. Okay, so at your work desk, I kind of want this similar position right here where your knee is at a 90-degree angle. Do you see that? Yeah, okay. So that's the first thing. I want your knees to be at a 90-degree angle. And so what I want you to do now is rotate your hips all the way forward as far as you can. Okay, and then rotate them all the way back as far as you can. Now I want you to try and find a happy middle right between those two. You can rotate forward and back until you find that neutral middle. Feel like you found it?
I think so.
Okay, so now what I want you to do is lift your shoulders up, back, and down, just like that. And go ahead and relax. Good. And now what I want you to do is grow tall. And what I mean by that is pretend like there's a string in the middle of your head to the ceiling, kind of pulling you up. How's that? Okay, so this is the posture that I want you to try and maintain while you're at work. A good thing that I tell my other patients is maybe set a timer for every 30 minutes just to make sure that you're correct in that posture, because this is something that you've been doing for a long time. It's not going to come naturally. So once you have that timer, it'll remind you to check that posture so that you can get your angles and everything right. And I'll also give you a pamphlet with the steps so you don't have to memorize them. Okay. And also next time, whenever you come in, I want to see a picture of what your workstation looks like so we can see if there are different things that we can kind of change around so that you won't have to be maybe reaching for things or doing other things that are going to bring that pain on as well. So if you could get me a picture of your workstation for next time, that would be great.
I can do it.
Awesome. So now I'm going to try just a couple treatments on you just to kind of see, kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be doing here, and some to also take home as well. So what I want you to do first is, while you're sitting in this chair, go ahead and kind of bring your head kind of like you're looking at your armpit. Good. Okay, and now bring this hand and hold the seat with it, and then look down like you're looking at your armpit. How does that feel?
Good. I kind of feel like a pull.
A pull? Okay. And if you want an extra stretch, you can kind of bring your hand up and pull you more towards that armpit. And I want you to hold that for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And how does that feel?
Feels good.
Okay.
Feels good to kind of stretch it out.
Yeah, awesome. I love to hear that. So now I want you to rotate, kind of like how we did before. Rotate and look over your left shoulder. How does that feel now?
It's a little bit better.
Better? Better how?
I feel like I can go a little bit further.
Further? Okay, let me measure that real quick. Okay. So go ahead and look over your left shoulder again. Yeah, you got some degrees there. You increased about 10 degrees, so that's good. So I want you to keep doing that same stretch. I want you to do that about once a day. I want you to hold it for 30 seconds, and I want you to do it 3 times. And so I'm gonna get you a handout with this stretch, and that's all I want you to do for now. I want you to start small, and then next time when you come in, I'll do some more work on your neck and show you some more exercises so that we can get that in order. And I'll also, like I said, help you work out your workstation just so that it can be less painful for you to maneuver around.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I also want you to kind of keep track of when your pain comes on at work, because I know one of the things that was causing you pain was sitting for, I believe, over 2 hours. So now I want you to kind of keep a log of how long that pain starts to come on while you're sitting, because if it takes longer now, that means we're making more progress. Does that make sense? Awesome. Any more questions?
I don't think so.
No? Awesome. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Great. Thank you for explaining everything.
No problem. I'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.